Hello, sexy soul. Welcome back to the channel. So, I am really excited to do a reading today because I don't have my glasses on. I decided I wanted to start wearing contacts, and I knew it was going to be a bit of a struggle because I just had a fear. I one time put a contact in. I was a little drunk actually. It was Halloween, and I put a contact in. It was one of those like Halloween ones that are massive, and it just was a traumatizing experience. Couldn't get it out. Spent like an hour, and I just pure panic mode set in. So yeah. And I'm not someone that I don't really hate my glasses anymore. I actually kind of like wearing glasses. But I'm kind of sick of them at the same time. So I kind of am a little bit like, because I'm getting used to them in my eyes. But I'm excited to do this reading today. So the reading that I'm going to do today is, who are they? And we're going to look at who they are right now. And I want everyone to, use their own, common sense when it comes to reading, or when it comes to this tarot reading, because everything I say is not everything that is true about them. Okay? We all show ourselves in different lights to different people, or in different ways around different, I'm a different person to when I'm around my family, when I'm around my friends, blah blah blah. So we all do play a little bit of a game when it comes to life, because we do have to, and we all have our own trauma and stuff that brings up certain masks. Like when I do this reading for myself, I'm like, whoa, shit. Yes, people are a little bit more manipulative than others, but again, once you start to learn the signs of manipulation and etc., life gets a little bit easier, because you know how to handle them people, and you know how to be around people like that. The thing is, here, we do need to learn how to be around people who are, wounded in different ways, and you need to know how to recognize it. So I do use this spread. I don't know how to, I can't really explain this spread because it's a mental one that I have in my head. I've been using it for myself for a long time, and now I'm like, okay, I'm ready to kind of use this for YouTube. This style that I've created for myself is very straight to the point. But there is so many layers to it. It tells me out straight things that I'm doing wrong, and then I'm like, oh, but I didn't mean it to come across that way, and blah blah blah. And I get sometimes a little triggered myself when Tara was showing me that. I'm like, well, but it helps me think, okay, next time I'm in that situation, be a little bit more like this, okay? Because I do switch off sometimes, and to the opposite person, it looks like I'm being a dickhead, but I'm actually just doing something that is like a coping mechanism thing. Because if you met me in public, I'm not the friendliest looking person. Most of the time I walk around looking like there's something wrong with me, because I'm just trying to function. I'm trying to get from A to B, and I look confused, and I look really unapproachable sometimes. And sometimes people get a little bit triggered. This is something that Tarot's shown me, is people get a little bit triggered by my energy because of the way I come across. It's like, they're like, oh, who's this guy? And I get that, and I know that now myself, but I work with it. I'm like, open up, be a little nicer when people are approaching you for the first time, etc. This could be the last reading though for a while, because as you know, a lot of you, if you don't know, I'm moving to Australia, and I don't know, I'm trying to kind of keep myself busy, but at the same time I have so much to do. Yeah, at the minute I'm a bit overwhelmed with thinking about that at the minute, because I already was doing it all week, and I'm like, okay, break time, let's have a break, let's do some tarot. But yeah, this intro was a bit long-winded, so we're going to just start. We're going to have 3 groups, and as well, think of a person first in your head that you want to see a little bit about them. And as well, you're going to be looking at their energy now, okay? Because people's energy changes, like I said, depending on the person. They'll show different parts of themselves to different people, etc. So this is how they are showing up in your life, how they're showing up to you, and things you don't see that they're doing, and they might not even know that they're doing it themselves. Okay, so think on a person, and then you can choose one of the 3 decks. So this is the first group, the Light Seers Tarot. That's group number 1. This is group number 2. It's the Rider-Waite Tarot. It's just in my fancy little box thing. Oh, look at that! That's so cool. Group number 2, and then group number 3 is This Might Hurt Tarot. Now the name is very deceiving, because it's not a very hurtful deck. It's kind of nice. It's not very It's not. It's so funny. Like the name is a wee bit weird because like every time I use that deck, I'm like, ah, that's a nice deck. Don't let that make you choose it though. Choose the one that you feel you're most drawn to. And yes, we will begin. Okay. Hello, group number 1. So I have already pre-shuffled because I like to say I like to, when I'm doing private readings, I like to absorb the information. I like to just sit with it and feel it. And it's funny, as I'm kind of building with the cards, I already see what's coming next, and it gives me like that time to just absorb it without the pressure of like having to talk all the time. So like I said, this is going to be more chill. I'm going to take more time to like get all the information I want to give. And yeah. Woo, we have the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. I just wanted to look at that for a second. I don't know who this person is, obviously. But this is a really good start because I feel like whoever this person is, if they're not doing this type of work, they should be doing it. They are here to be a leader in a profession that is to do with helping people heal. And it's not so much in the way that people would think. It's not like a healer in a very like typical kind of way. It's very out there. The way that they do their work is very different. So they could be someone who is like a psychologist or whatever, but they do it in a way that is like it's super gifted and like nobody else can. I'm getting comfortable. Nobody else can replicate what they do because it's channeled, basically. It is channeled and they might not realize it themselves. They are helping people because they have a very special gift spiritually. But they're so grounded in themselves that they don't even realize that they're this kind of gifted. Okay, that's the first thing. So what I want to start off with saying is the reason I get the vibe of that they could be like a psychologist or something along those lines, someone who sits and, is very grounded. They're very comfortable to be around, okay? I want to say that this person has their shit together. From what Tara was showing me, they know who they are. They have a little thing here going on with their ego that we'll talk about in a second. But with the King of Pentacles, I feel like when you're in that kind of an energy of this person here, you will sit down, have a conversation, and every time... Oh my god, come on. You can... Okay, sorry. So you could sit down and have a conversation, and the way, even the body language is like so relaxed, like tell me what's up. And the bookshelves in the background, they give off that feeling of knowing information but not acting like the King of Swords. Like they hold information and it's really in there. It's grounded into their being and they use it whenever they feel like they need to use it. Okay, it's almost as if like, you have a problem? Okay. I have a book over here that could really help you out. They're that kind of person that would... Everything is quite slow in how they do things, but it's because they look at life a little bit differently to a lot of people. They're kind of seeing that everyone's in a go, go, go mentality. And everybody is hooked into different things and they are very detached in that way. Okay? Because right above it we do have the Star card, which is kind of a card that shows a little bit of that being detached from reality. But because the King of Pentacles is below this card, it's a very healthy kind of way of being detached, okay? And now, even though they are the King of Pentacles, below them we have the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So that just shows me that they don't. I love whoever this person is. I really like their energy. I just want to say that. Like, I'm like, who is this? Because they, even though they might be wealthy or they have money and they have a good job or whatever it is, it's not who they are. It's not. It doesn't even mean that much to them. What means the most to them is helping people. But we'll get to that, because also they don't just help people for no reason. They're very selective of who they want to help. Okay, so they don't just go around helping everybody. Which can be a lot of people's problem, especially in the spiritual community. People think that they have to help everybody, and it's like, yeah, that's not what you need to do. You need to know who resonates with you slowly. It's like building a slow kind of relationship with people and seeing where they stand, and are they doing the work that you tell them to do? Like, are they taking your advice? This is the kind of person that this energy is. Now, it's very masculine energy because they're getting that from them. Now, to the back of that man, so I'm just taking it as he's sitting here, and the back of it, the card that's on this side here in the spread, is sort of how I see it, is like how he is viewing people. Like, even in his conversations, how does he view people? And it might be something that you don't really notice, but we do have the Devil card. So one thing about this person is that he knows that people want him for that King of Pentacles vibe. They want him because he's successful. They want his opinion because they see him as someone that they can get something off. You are successful, so I should listen to you, or you are successful, so I should be nice to you, etc., etc. He might play dumb or act like he doesn't even know, but deep down he knows that he looks at people and he sees the wounds. He sees the things that they're attached to, and because he is so detached, it doesn't even affect him, because he's not even attached to people. That's how detached this person is. They've been here before. Because when I asked about, like, getting spiritual vibes with, like, how gifted they are, and I pulled the Hermit, they are so sure of who they are as a person that they radiate that light. This person radiates so much of that hope that people want in the world. So that when people are around them, because of how grounded they are, it kind of draws them in. But he has learned, I say he, sorry, I'm just, because of the mask, it could be a she. This king, the way that people sort of approach is like a moth to a flame. Okay? And they have obviously went through a lot of experiences to get to this King of Pentacles vibe, to know that, that's not me anymore. No. Yeah, let me see. But with the Devil here, they did have a little bit of that vibe. They had a little devil in them. We all do. They had a little bit of that devil energy in them, where they used to be the person that would do everything, be the most romantic, be like, hey, I want to take you out on the most romantic date. We can go on a horse and we have a picnic in the middle of nowhere. He would, like, let people use him. Okay? Writing love letters. There's a letter in the bottom of that card. Love letters, things like this. Just so romantic. And he doesn't mind not having that be part of his ego anymore. He's let that go. But one thing that this person has not fully accepted just yet is that they are getting older and they're not as good looking as they used to be. They don't like the fact that they're not as pretty or as charming as they used to be, when they don't realize that it's actually, they're getting more charming as they're aging. But this is their ego with that Knight of Cups. So you know, this person is learning how to be more interesting in a new way, and this new way is about being selective of who they hang around with, which is amazing. I love that. Now, let me see. What else do I want to talk about? Okay, so I keep getting a feeling that the way that they communicate is just so respectful. This has to be the most respectful group, honestly. Because like the cards is just like, wow. Very, very respectful. It's funny, like I was expecting to see negative cards but because I was like, usually when I start doing tarot readings, it's like we go deep into the shadow stuff. But here there's not much. Apart from like what I talked about already with the like ego stuff, like that's about it. Because I have the Four of Cups reversed, and what I'm get with this card, it's, you know, when you go to someone and you're like talking to them and you're like, hey, I'm just really down and like I'm just having a bad time, and they're like, oh, okay, well, have you spoke to your family about this? And they just kind of like shove it away and ask you, did you do this? They don't actually want to sit and listen. They're like, oh, okay, well, have you tried doing that? And it's kind of like, I don't want that to ruin my day. You can't ruin this person's day by your problems. You can't. They don't take other people's problems to heart, and they're very much like they're the type of person that will sit and listen and give their full attention to the person that they are talking to, because they see how good people could be, and they want people to see that themselves. Because what that King of Pentacles is looking at is this Knight of Wands. The most entertaining thing for them is to see people enjoying life, but more so seeing people do what they love to do. If you want to bang on a drum and start hula hooping around the world, I don't know, they are like all for whatever random things people decide that they want to do. Again, because that Star card is there. It's like they are all about hopes and dreams. Like they sort of live life through seeing people live life. Because again, I get this feeling like they've done it all. They have this energy of like, I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to live life and see things and watch people struggle and then recover, and like that's the energy I get from this person. So yeah, they'll never be the type of person to, and I can't say never, but in this case with you, they will always listen, and they will never look like they're bored when they're talking to you, because that Four of Pentacles is kind of like a bored card, like, oh, okay, all right, can we move on now? They're not that kind of person. However, with this Ace of Pentacles, if they feel like you are self-sabotaging or that you're someone who doesn't know how to get their shit together, they are not going to give you that pentacle. They are not going to give you the book on the shelf that will help you, because they need you to see it for yourself. They'll listen, but they probably won't give too much advice. They'll say things to point you in the right direction, but they won't tell you what is at the other side. Because that's what I have with the Three of Wands here. They'll be like, well, you know, if you really want to do it, then the first thing if you really want this lifestyle for yourself, you need to first decide that you definitely are going to choose that, and then take steps to even like looking at what that could be, how that life would be, what it would be like. They're more like, you need to ask yourself questions instead of like, you know, thinking that you have all these problems. They're like, well, the problem here is that you haven't chosen yet to make a new decision to fix things. You're just giving yourself loads of different options, but you're too scared to choose. That's the energy of this person. It's like, you need to just choose something, and then we can go from there. It's one step at a time with this. But they want the people in their life, they want them to do all the work. And whenever they see enough of that improvement, that's when the Six of Pentacles comes in. That's when they're like, I love this for you. You know what? I want to invest in that. I want to invest in you. I want to give you more. And that's what they do. They will start to slowly show that they are the type of person that is kind of marriage. I don't know if you're married to this person. If you are, you're very lucky because they are marriage material in my eyes. Now, this Hierophant card is connecting to that Devil card over there and this King of Cups. So let me just see what this is trying to tell me. Yeah, so this is probably one thing that is a little bit like probably isn't annoying to people, is they're not very reliable because of this. Okay, they might feel like they're not reliable, but they have ego stuff wounds that sort of overemphasize, like, I'm not helping the wrong people. I'm not helping you because you don't, like, if it's someone like really their circle feels like it's small. It might be big, but really deep down, the people that I actually care about, it's small. Because they don't like to commit. They don't like to sign contracts with people. Do you know what I mean? They don't like to get into things if it's they just really like to think things through. They really have to, they're very, very, very patient with that kind of thing. They don't rush into things. And that's one thing. They don't rush into like even marriage or whatever. They're not that kind of person. They don't just jump the gun and be like, oh, let's just go get married, blah, blah, blah. Which is, it's a good thing, but it means that, like, if you were to ask them to do something, they're a little bit harder to get to do things. They don't just jump and do things for people, is in general. Like, okay, I'm talking about contracts and opportunities and things like that. They're not pushed, but it's also to do with, I'm not going to let people tell me what to do if it's not that important to me right now. What's important to them is that they are present with themselves at all times. That's the most important thing to them. And yeah, and that is why that Devil card is connecting here for me. It's like everyone wants this. They're like, can you do this? Can you help? Can you help? Can you help? And it's like, no. So it's not that they're not reliable. It means that they're seeing something in you that's not worth helping, or it's not worth their, like, all their energy. So they might be a little bit like half, they'll take a step forward, but they won't walk the whole way up. They won't go and do the whole journey for you. Okay, and then right above that we have the Eight of Wands, which is about journeys. Eight of Wands reversed. It all ties back to then that Three of Wands, which we already talked about. Okay, but with this Eight of Wands, it's really good because they are trustworthy in the way that they won't just up and leave. They don't just give up. They don't give up on things. They really stick things through. They're not flighty in that way. Okay? Normally the Eight of Wands, I would kind of, but the way the cards that it's surrounded by, it's giving off a positive vibe. And yeah, let me see, is there anything else? And with that Three of Wands too, they believe that life is worth exploring, but again, they're patient. They're not like, around the world in 80 days kind of person. They are more like, it's always about the next step. They could be, they're giving off like Taurus, Capricorn energy. Yeah, they're giving off all the earth sign stuff. To be honest. Yeah. Now, with the star card as well, one thing I want to say about this is they are so beyond open-minded when it comes to anything. All the topics of the day that are triggering people about, you know, labels and things. Labels don't even bother them. It doesn't bother them. Why can I not speak? Bother them. It does not bother them. Because they just see everybody as equal, kinda, and it's like, why do we have to, like, you know, fight about it? It's not that they see things as like being a bit dramatic, okay. And then lastly, just with the Hermit card, like, they've been here before. They've got that. They have got that spiritual knowledge that has been with them a very long. They're an old soul from the vibe that it comes across as. It's so welcoming. It's like they're just. It feels like they've figured everything out. They just know their whole life and blah blah blah. That's how it seems. That's how it feels. And that is, in a way, that is it. But they do have problems of their own. It's not really showing up here, but they do have their own insecurities and things like that they deal with. But they have a balance with it because of the way that they work through things, by taking steps for themselves first. It's like, I will take the next step and then I'll come back and get you and take you with me. It's very slow, which is what that King of Pentacles is. But yeah, let me now pull a card to see. I'm going to use this to see what they want to say about this person. Last little thing. This is a really good group. Group number 1. Taurus. Release control. Yeah, so that is sort of connecting to this card. Okay? You have release control, and it's connecting to this. What we talked about with, you know, trying to, you might feel like you're kind of trying to use them sometimes. Try and release that whole feeling, if you know what I mean, because it's not going to work. It's not going to work with them, because of the Knight of Cups. They cannot be controlled anymore. They've had too many life lessons that makes them, you know, very, very set with the Taurus vibe, very set in their way of, yeah, you can't really budge me, because I've learned that doesn't work. Okay, but yeah, that is all I have for you, group number 1. Thank you so much. Please leave a comment down below, give this a video a like, do all the engagement things, because it helps so much, especially like my little channel I love, but my videos are just like, they're kind of in the depths of like not being seen, and I feel like at this reading I'd love people to see it, because I feel like I'm enjoying it. So give it a like, comment, show love, and rub your boobies if they're a little sore. Just my nipples kind of sore there. I don't know what that is. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye. Okay, hello group number 2. So I have already pulled the cards. I like to absorb the information as I go, so that's why I like to pull first. Now, I hope you have your cup of tea ready or something. This reading might be a little bit hard to hear for some people. Just going to say that. So if you feel like you're going to get triggered, if you feel like you really feel like you need to hear this, then you probably do. Now, I do not want to say or label anybody anything, but this person that you're thinking on lacks empathy, and it's not, you know, people who lack empathy is because what we have here with this card is hurt people, and I hate that phrase, but it just, you might have heard it before, and that's why I'm saying, I don't usually say that because I don't think that applies to most things in life. Like, not all people are hurt. Not all people that hurt people are hurt, but this is, in the case of this reading, that's what it is. So that's a very general, that's just a phrase. Phrases don't mean shit, but in this reading, that resonates, if that makes sense. Because they say really hurtful things because they don't understand how it feels when it's said. Does that make sense? Because we do have, when it comes to like how they respect your boundaries, we have the Lovers reverse. So I'm not sure if you're in a relationship, but for that to be the first card that comes out, if it is lovers stuff, there needs to be a little bit of a reality check here, because is this healthy? Because what I'm seeing here is the person that I'm seeing in the cards, they're not willing to be open-minded. They're not open-minded actually when it comes to you and how you think about things. Because I have the Tower card reversed. Tower card reversed means that they don't understand if your life is in crisis or that you're going through something that's really bad or really difficult. They just don't see it that like that. It doesn't register inside that it's like it's like, oh, you're being dramatic, but like, no, I'm not being dramatic. I'm having a crisis right now. Like this, I feel like my world is falling apart. Like, they don't have time for that kind of behavior. They're just like, okay, I don't really get that. And I think you're being over dramatic. That's the energy that comes across here. Because again, at the bottom, so the Tower is at the top, the Lovers is next here, and then below, which is kind of connecting in the spread to, on a soul level, do they respect and consider how you're feeling? We have the Four of Cups. You know, the Four of Cups is sort of, I'm giving you a cup of how I feel. This cups is emotions. I'm showing you how I feel, but mommy's little boy is doing this. I don't care. That's how my guides are showing me this, because we have this card, which is, this is being mothered, being a maternal card. It's like looking after their child, but it's beside this card, which is hurt people. I don't know what happened with them growing up, but they were not shown the compassion that they needed. But a gift that they have is, with the Strength card here above it, they've learned how to sort of show compassion, but they don't feel they're doing it because it's a mask. They're basically masking and doing something that they realize that works and that gets people. I'm just going to say this is manipulation a little bit. Not a little bit, there's a good bit of manipulation here, to be honest. On the side that has to do with like on an internal reality of theirs, everything is about, I have to sort of twist things to get what I want. Now, is this person a bad person? No. Nobody is awful. Like, that they, I feel like everybody deserves a chance in life, but you can't just sit around and wait for people if it's damaging your own mental health, emotional health, etc., etc. Especially here, it seems like a lot of this is to do with the emotional stuff. This person's not emotionally mature, because again, we have Two of Cups reversed. Again, more emotions. They're not emotionally mature enough to be someone that you can rely on. Okay, Two of Cups is about, like, you are my person. We're in this together. We got this. Actually, no, I don't feel like we do. Because when you sort of attack them, they attack back 10 times worse. And if you ever try to say anything about what they're doing, how they're making their money, or how they view money, you better back off. That's the touchiest subject ever, because they feel like life is about gaining that pentacle. Now, the Page of Pentacles, thinks they know what they need to do to be successful and to get wealthy, etc., etc. But we don't have any pentacles here. So I just am looking at it, I'm like, there's no... I can see that they think that that's their belief system, that money makes the world go round, but their world is upside down because of the way that they are feeling on a inward. Okay. So that is why I feel like the way that they behave is because if you could see how they're operating on the inside, how they're wired and everything, it reflects out that this world is so corrupt that I also have to do things that are corrupt. Now, I don't think that they are like that corrupt, but it's just from what I see here, it's just surface level manipulation. It's nothing like... I don't like labeling people things. Like, people don't like saying, oh, you can't just spit around and say everyone's narcissist. And I get that. But saying this is narcissistic behavior doesn't mean that they are narcissist. But what I see from this is I would class that as 1, the Tower, the Moon. We also have the Moon here. It's 2. Like, that's not a great one to add in general. 3. The Star card reversed. The Star card reversed as well. They're not very fair, because they see that the world should be gifting them everything. I deserve this. I deserve appreciation for everything that I've done. What are you talking about? I've done this for you. You don't appreciate that? Like, I did that for you, and you're coming at me. Words that hurt. It's because it's an energy that is like, they think that's okay to say that. But with the Tower card as well, it's actually, it just makes you fall apart. It's like, how could you say that to me when I'm trying to talk to you? You said this, or I told you about this, and you turned it around as if it doesn't even exist. But that's not a problem. It's like, that's not a problem. And then with the cards that are here, these 2 cards are actually connecting, okay, because this is Leo energy, and it's sort of in the Leo space here, because I was taught this space is to do, for me, it's like, do they make you feel good about yourself? You do have these cards. They do make you feel good. But again, I don't know, because this is above the mommy issue card. And then this connects to this, back to this card, which is like putting on a show. I always see this 9 of Cups as sort of putting on a show. And they do look like they've got a lot of really fun things about them. Like, they're really fun. It's like a pantomime, though. It's not real. It's not reality. It's not everything is the 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups is like, yes, it's amazing. It's wishes coming true. But on a daily basis, your wishes can't come true every freaking day. That's not how reality works. It's actually a distorted view of reality, and above it is the Star card reversed. It's like, the universe needs to do these things for me. Why is it not doing it? It's a little bit like that energy. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my god. I hope y'all don't hate me, but like, I'm not. I said that I was going to, if I get a group that was like this, I'm going to just speak my truth, and I'm doing that. I'm not, because I feel like it'll help someone. It'll trigger a lot of people, but it'll help someone. I know that if I didn't watch a YouTube video about my relationship, I never would have gotten out of it. So, yeah, because I had no clue about this kind of stuff until I watched someone talk about it, and I was like, oh shit. So I hope that this helps someone. But like, again, this is a tarot reading on YouTube. Just like, do with what you want. because do what you want with this information, but if it feels like it's hitting a nerve or it's like really bringing up stuff and you feel like you're kind of, the thing is, when I watched a video about this kind of energy about someone, I felt like I was losing everything. I thought I was losing my mind. So I don't know how deep you are in this relationship with the person or how often you hang around this person. But yeah, this once you start to wake up to the fact that this is not healthy, you go one of two ways. You go even deeper into it, or you go completely opposite and you kind of lose touch of who you are. No, you actually realize that you lost that self that you used to be. You don't know how to be the person you used to be. And even though the person you were in the past was a little fucked up anyway, in certain ways, and you've learned a lot from being like, I'll never be that person again, but even jumping back to being that person would feel like the best thing ever, because this is not a place you want to be. Okay. And then this is kind of tying into, we have the Ace of Wands above the Nine of Cups and the Star card reversed. We have the Ace of Wands. Now this feels like that they are like, I hold the magic wand. It's like, yes, I can do anything. I can do anything. I'm great. La 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 la. I know how to do it. And with the Strength card and the Nine of Cups connecting, it's like, yes, and I can help you. If it works out in their favor and it's like something that's aligned with where they see their life being, they'll jump to it. Okay? And that's why this Page of Cups is here, or Page of Pentacles is here, because behind the Page of Cups, behind the Page of Pentacles is the Ace of Wands. So they jump to these opportunities. They're actually not really getting them anywhere in life because they think that like, that person's got their shit together, I'm going to help them out. And then they jump over to that person and realize those people realize like, oh, okay, this is, I don't know, they're being a bit much, or they're helping me a little bit. Like, why are they doing all that? Why are they being over the top? So, I don't know. But then again, a lot of people are sort of mesmerized by how good they can be when they are helping. Because they feel like you ask them to do something and they just go all out. They create the whole thing. They make the whole thing come true. They go all out and beyond if it suits them. If it feels like if they're gonna get something from it, they're gonna do it. So yeah. No, I don't want to go too long with this group because I feel like that's probably too much information now even to deal with. So we're gonna do one of these, and see what else they have to say. I want to ask, or let's just see what card comes out. Okay, Strength card. This is a card about healing the wounds. She's helping the lion heal. We have Forgive card. It's connecting sort of to this energy, and also to the moon. The moon here. This is basically saying this is a spiritual intervention. You haven't been seeing what has really been going on, and it's time to forgive you're going to first have to forgive yourself, I feel, in ways like that you let this happen for so long, or you let things like this get to you for so long, and then you're also in the end when you know, I don't know how, if you're really like, okay, I need to get away from this person or whatever, you have to go no contact. You have to just get away. You cannot contact them. You'll never get away from them if you don't. Because they'll come after. It depends on how far into how manipulated. Because this could be very like. At the end of the day, this energy is not good at all. It doesn't matter how bad or how like not bad it is. It's just not good in general. It's not good. It's not worth it. It's taking you backwards in life. It's not taking you forwards. It's not. That's what this is. It doesn't matter how bad it is or how whatever. But you're gonna have to try and forgive them. Now that the reason I bring up like how bad it would be or how much of it is going to affect you, it's up to you to decide on how long you want to let yourself not like that person after you kind of go. Because like it takes people a long time. It took me like a year to like get over and like actually be like, okay, I learned a lot. And the thing is, I learned a lot from that relationship. It taught me to just be more observant of like what's going on. And I learned, and I got a little hyper fixated on like learning about like how people manipulate people, because I didn't even think I was the fool card. I just lived life and like everybody's really great and nobody wants to hurt me and nobody wants to sabotage anything and blah blah blah. And I lived life for that I lived life for like too long like that. It's because just the way I live life in general. I find it really hard to not trust people. But now I'm a little bit on the opposite side. I'm like, I'll give it a while. And I think like that is what we have going on here. We have Go Wild. And it's Leo, again, connecting back to that strength card again. Meaning like, you have to find the strength in you to not go wild. So you would not want to go to this person and be like, oh, you are doing this, you're doing that, and blah blah blah. It's not going to help. It is literally not going to help anybody if you start accusing them, because to be honest, both people were attracted to each other because they needed each other to sort of move forward. So like, going through difficult situations and going through difficult relationships is actually a very good way to grow. Recently I met someone that I know is quite, they're very manipulative in other ways, but I felt this like really strong pull to them, and I was just like, oh, I love them. But they're so toxic. And it's this pull because we can't blame ourselves. That's why you have to forgive yourself. You can't blame yourself you're not silly or stupid or gullible or any of those things. You're nothing like that is not something you should be saying to yourself. That is, you see, this is the thing you're going to have to learn, is you're going to have to learn to be compassionate again for yourself, because you weren't being given it. You weren't being shown compassion. So, I don't even blame myself for sometimes being attracted again to more toxic energy, because it's like I still have things to work on. So I'm naturally enough, I'm not expecting to manifest the man of my dreams and stuff like that. And honestly, that whole law of attraction manifestation stuff, when it comes to attracting the one, 10 out of 10 times, I'm being biased, majority of the time, if you start playing with that kind of stuff, that kind of magic in that way, you're going to attract that. Because the universe sort of picks up that you want the magic, you want the all out, you want the fairy tale, but the fairy tale doesn't exist. Reality is that you will attract someone that gives you that like link, but that link is like a magnet that is so hard to pull apart. You have to really have the strength to pull that magnet apart, because it's so like that. And that's why I don't believe in twin flames, because I think it's like that. In my experience, you can believe in twin flames, whatever you may believe. I just think that is a label that we need to kind of look at what it really means. And what it really means is, people say like attracts like. If you're manifesting something, that actually does not align with actual quantum physics. Like does not attract like. So the spiritual community kind of manipulates this, quantum healing stuff, and they really are taking spiritual concepts and they're sort of shitting on it with things that are in books that just are kind of pseudoscience stuff. It's just like, be careful. Be careful with manifestation kind of things, because, you know, that is not the focus of life. The focus of life is just taking things back to basics. We're very overwhelmed in today's society with all these like things and ways to heal and la 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 and blah 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 blah. But when it comes down to it, like does not attract like in the way that they say. Because actually, in I don't know the full on science to word it in a fancy way, but I have watched so many videos on like actual quantum scientists and how they talk about things, and how I watched a lady talk about, she is an actual quantum scientist lady, and she's so grounded, and it's like, it's not like, you know, people be like, oh, you're listening to science, you're following the matrix, da da da, and it's like, you see, you're people that say that, they're not, you need to look at everything from, like, see everything from a whole picture, because the way that I see life and truth is like that. Okay? Everybody finds their strength in that loop. Okay? Some people go into spirituality, they come all the way around, hit that middle point, go back down, they hit a low, they come back up, and then they get back into spirituality, and it's back down, and it's like this. We're going to always be finding out different truths that are for us on our path. It's like this. So, don't let other people's truth affect your life, okay? Because that is what is happening in today's world, is everyone thinks that their truth is the one that matters, not yours. And it's like, if you start attacking people for the way that they believe, then you're going to realize that one day you'll come to that point, you'll be like, oh shit, I used to attack people, but now I believe what they believe, and like that. Well, that is a thing that happens. So I just wanted to say that because I feel like it's important to share. And I let people believe in stuff because I can't really pull them out, but I like to let people be aware that, you know, like attracts negative. That's what attracts. Okay. So yeah. Leave a comment down below if you want. If you don't want to, that's okay. If you need time, if you never want to come back to my channel again, you're done. That's okay too. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I hope I helped someone kind of. And okay. See you later. Bye. Okay. Hello, group number 3. Welcome to the reading. So for you guys, I have already pulled cards from the deck. I'm just looking. 8 of Wands at the bottom, reversed. Okay, so I have, excuse me, Eight of Wands reversed, and there's a massive energy, just like kind of. First thing I'm picking up with your person already is that this person might get exhausted very easily. And I want to say actually they're a little bit misunderstood. Temperance card for me can be like it's about balance, but with the cards that are surrounding it, it could be that there's a little bit of a chemical imbalance in the body, okay? Because where this 4 of Pentacles reversed is, it's you know, they might need to look into their health, because maybe it could be a neurological thing, could be a physical thing, but the first thing my guides are saying about this group is we need to be very aware that, you know, it's not easy living in the world that this person lives in. Okay, so there's something about their world that is a little bit more difficult than the normal person. Okay, so the world is a little bit scarier, or it's a little bit harder to navigate life. It's not as easy as it's, that's the first thing we want to get into consideration here is they're just a little different, and it's a little hard to always understand them. Okay, so just that's the first thing I want to say, because with the Temperance card, like this comes up for me a lot. This card, but it's normally when it just comes out on its own and it's reversed. I always take it as like, for me it has it's a little bit of that chemical imbalance. Okay. Yeah, and with the full card reversed too, it's their light, the way that they have sort of come into this world is very different. It's unique. It's going to look like their life is not together at all, and they're going through lots of fails and la la la, and life is a little bit more difficult for them. But their level or their view of success in life is very different. Like, you might look at them and be like, you need to try harder, or you need to try and do this, and da 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 da. It feels like you're wanting them to do better, and that's not what they need. They just need people to understand how they do things and why they do these things, because these things matter. And it's not that it's a habit. It is the way that they have to live, because that's how it works for them. There could be so many different things and categories that this could fall under, but one of the things with the Seven of Cups is just they don't fully understand, because they've got so much going on in their head. They've got so much kind of going on around them. Everything is a little overwhelming to them, so they can get lost in thought. They can get they could be looking at you, and they could just say something that is a little off-putting, like, oh, can you not sit like that? Can you stop tapping your leg? Can you, like, sometimes there could be things that are bothering them, or like they may have a weird quirky thing, like, oh, can you not like put the toilet seat down? Can you just leave it up? Could be something like weird things like that, like just things that are just like, to the normal person's like, that's not what normal people do. But nobody's normal. There's no such thing as normal. It's just, we've been kind of conditioned to believe that this is the way you do everything, and la la la. And in their world, it's like they found a better way for them that works, and all those kind of things. Because with the Strength card reversed, it's like, it looks like it's a weakness. Like, this is like, you're being silly, like that. You could just do it like this, and to you it might come across as like, just do it this way, it's easier. But it's like, no, my way is the way I want to do it, and I can't let go. I don't want you to try and control or fix. I don't want your help. I don't want your support. So the way that they view everybody that tries to help them is, they're kind of like, you're not helping. So they have this sort of a feeling of, nobody gets me. And it's not, I don't really feel like it's a victim mentality at all. They're very direct. They're very, very direct, because we have the Ace of Swords. When they're telling you something, they are straight up honest. They're like, no, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. But I need you to just not do that. It's understanding them. Understanding them is going to be the most beneficial thing that you could ever do. Because it feels like there's this pressure of like, you need to work on this, and you need to do this. And this person that I'm feeling is like, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. And it's not because they're a waste of your time. They're not, but you're wasting your time trying to fix them, because they're already fine. The way that their world works is exactly how it works. And that's what I mean. It works for them. So why would they go and change everything when they have like tried everything? They know where people are coming from, but they're at a point where they're it could be more so towards you. Maybe not everybody, but more so towards you. They're at a point where they're like, yes, I hear what you're saying. No, it doesn't work like that. People try to help them, and it defeats the purpose. They're not open-minded to it. Like, because we have the Six of Wands reversed. They're not open-minded to people trying to help them become, like this. Like, you're doing good, we're all rooting for you. They're like, I don't need you to support me like that. Like, I just need you to just understand. That's it. Understand how I work, and that's how my brain works and how my mind works. That's what I'm getting from this. Okay? No, they don't mean to be, but sometimes it can come across and look like they are manipulative. Okay, with the hair magician card here. It can sometimes come across like they don't care about your feelings. But again, like I said, there's a lot going on up there in that little noggin of theirs. There's a lot of, they could be very sensitive. Okay? Very sensitive to energies, sounds, things happening around them. They're like kind of like myself, very sensitive little soul, not always fully in the world, and sometimes, it might feel like when they say something to you that it was completely out of context, or it was like where is this coming from, and it might feel like they are playing a game, or they're trying to trick you or do something malicious or whatever. It's not them. They couldn't give a shit. They're not trying to manipulate people. They're not actually trying to do any of that. They're not. They're so honest. They're so truthful. They're just trying to live their life. That's I feel like this person I feel like this person is just very misunderstood. And they are the most caring people. They are the most fair. Like, Six of Pentacles, they would do anything for the right people. They would do anything. They would give all the last pennies that they have. They are that sort of energy, okay? But again, it's in different ways. Like, sometimes they might be very stingy, but they would give you like, they might not give you money, but they might cook you a meal, or vice versa. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are things that they're so stubborn and stuck with, but again, you have to look at it in from their lens. There's a reason they're like that, and they're not going to change. It's just part of who they are. Okay, so the biggest thing here is more so whoever's watching this, group number 3, you need to learn to be more humble. To realize that nothing is, there's nothing unbalanced about this person. It's your perception of what you think should be balanced in the relationship with you and them, and all of those things. So it's sort of like taking yourself to try things out in a different way when you approach this person, okay? Because we have the Justice card here as well, reversed. So it's like, try now helping them out in the way that they want. And if you ask them, how would you like me to support you? Or what do you want to do? Like, I think you should do this. And then they're like, I don't want to do that. Well, then you're like, okay, well, what do you want to do? And then, be fair about it. Be like, okay, well, then let's try that. So that is what I want to say. Now, I do want to say that this person is not the type to do the shadow work. They don't want to work on that stuff. They're like, "Bleh, don't tell me like this." In their mind, they think that a lot of the things that people believe in are just like a waste of energy. They're just like, okay, I get it. But they're very intelligent. They pick up information in a different way. And it's very hard. You know what? I resonate with this in certain ways because people will say to me sometimes like certain things and they think that they're helping, and I'm just like, I already know, like, I'm not even going to attempt that because I figured it out in my head how things, it resonates this group. I figured out how things work in my head, and yes, it might look like I'm kind of not doing the best in my life, but to me, I'm like, I've got this all figured out, and I'm not harming anybody. I'm living my life. I'm just living, going from A to B, do what I want, kind of da 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 da. And with a full card reverse, sometimes that looks like they're a bit selfish, that they don't really care about people, but they're finding it hard enough to just be, and they have to be extra cautious with how they are in life because they're not so much plugged into the reality that this world is, that it's just like it's kind of like an inverted version of what the spiritual journey is. They sort of came in a spiritual being and they're learning how to be human. Okay, people kind of come in with the whole forgetting, like they all say, which I don't know, like I not everybody believes in that. I don't even know, like I just, hello. Sorry. I saw a little, like, this just shows me that this group is very very psychic in different ways. I just saw a little being there. Sorry. As I was looking at that hermit card and talking about like things coming in, so they'll probably receive certain information. But the one thing I do want to say is that this person does need to step up. They do need to step up. So you don't need to fix them. They might be going through things and they might know in themselves that they need to get their shit together and move in a new way. But it's not for you to fix because you're not going to be able to help them. They don't take people's advice. And it's not because they're stuck in their own way and that they're not open-minded. They're open-minded, but they're not open-minded to people trying to help them because it's about success or it's about a lot of people who view living a healthy lifestyle, it is around success and being successful, and this person's reality is not like that. It's like, I don't really care about that. Like, I don't care about those things. I just like doing my thing. And their thing could be playing video games. Their thing could be doing arts and crafts. Like, things that probably aren't really going to get you anywhere in life, or that might not look that successful to the ordinary person, but to them it's their whole world. It's like their escape to just like go into that. Okay? I feel like I've talked about nearly everything there. Is there anything else? And their gift is their mind. Okay? Because we have the Knight of Swords. Now again, we have another physical, like physically it's showing a man in a wheelchair, but that's his old age. It just it gives that, with that card, it's like their gift, their mind, the way that they think and process information it's a gift, but it's also a curse because it stops them from being able to do things that people can do. Now, again, when I bring in the Temperance card and the cards that are surrounding it, like for example, I'm just going to put it back to myself. Having ADHD is really hard for me to just do things that I need to do. Like, I need to be able to sometimes see everything laid out of all the things that I need to do. I need to write them down, order them in priority level. Like it's a whole handling, and it takes so much more time. There's so many other things that I have to do because of my mind and how it works. I don't feel like doing things. So it depends. I'm not. This person could have other things. It's not that they have ADHD. They could have OCD. They could have a physical disability. They could have whatever. There is just there's something that stops them from being the person that is, healthy, active, has the perfect lifestyle, etc. They have the mind of a genius. They are able to solve all the problems that people don't solve. And that's why they're so direct. They have no time for small talk. They're like, say what you mean. Just say what you mean. Thank you. And it comes off sometimes maybe rude. Yeah. Again, how successful you are does not matter. They don't judge people like that. They judge people on how they treat other people. Okay? So with this card and the Six of Wands reversed, they look at people with the mindset of, are you truly as intelligent and thought out as you make yourself to look? That's the vibe, okay? Now, last little card here, because the camera is flashing, it's probably going to cut off. So this is going to be quick. Sorry, because my camera heats up sometimes. We have lighten up. I think that just the message here is around this person, learn to just lighten up. Learn to just be around them and let them be who they are and enjoy the full spectrum of who they are. That's what I'm getting here with this. Yeah, so I hope that helped. Group number 3, please leave a comment down below if you enjoyed it. And yeah, I have to cut short because it's flashing at me. Okay, so I will see you all in the future. Goodbye.